everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress, of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me per usual are two of your other hosts. We got the return of Brian the Beard, aka New Reliable, aka the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative, on a Dragon Ball Z Redemption arc, and we got Devin, also known as the Brains, and Mr. Nowhere. Welcome back, Brian, for one thing, and hello. How are you guys both doing?
I feel like the Undertaker and that WWE thing where he raises from the fucking casket. That's how I feel right now.
That's Brian. He's back from the dead.
Brian was in an elite group of people that had not yet caught COVID, but alas, all streaks must come to an end.
I did not tell you guys? It wasn't actually COVID. I got the flu.
It wasn't actually COVID. It was just another flu.
I ended up getting the flu. I tested 3 times.
Brian's streak continues.
The streak continues.
The streak lives on.
I was telling you guys about that, like letting you know that I didn't have COVID, ended up being the flu again. So somehow I've still dodged it, but I didn't dodge whatever the fuck that was because it nearly killed me.
I know. I feel like last week I made it was like, we miss you, Brian. It made it seem like you had died. Brian did not die, listeners. He was just ill.
I was just very ill.
Just a normal flu season.
Yeah.
Those still exist, I guess.
Well, we're glad you're back. We're glad you both are here because we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So, guys, well, first of all, listeners, if you want to skip any spoilers or skip any segments, check the time codes for all the info down there. But with that, guys, should we just hop into our first segment of the week?
Let's do it.
News talk. So, we all know the pretty, I think he's pretty famous. I think most people know who he is now. They probably won't know his name. They probably just call him Gus, or the chicken guy from Breaking Bad. But Giancarlo Esposito, who had been clamoring in the past about joining the MCU, specifically as Professor X, with Denzel Washington as his Magneto. Apparently, he is finally joining the MCU. He confirmed it himself. But we don't know what the role is. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's gonna be the Professor X. He's saying how it's like it's better than we can imagine, which him saying that
Imagine.
Could you imagine?
Replace him with just a different old guy?
Honestly, for a split second, I was like, make him Kang.
Oh, yeah. I kind of thought about that.
Are we not thinking Dr. Doom?
I was thinking Dr. Doom too, yeah.
That could. Yeah. I like how we're all like villain. He's a one-off villain. He ain't no hero. He's like, I want to be Professor X. I want to be the good guy. He's like, nah, man. You're the villain.
He has the gravitas to be a bad guy. You know what I mean?
I didn't think of Dr. Doom, but that's not bad.
I think Dr. Doom is perfect because he's gonna be so CGI for so long that he doesn't actually have to do anything. So him getting older won't be a big factor.
I was gonna say the only thing would be the age, because actually no. I mean, I forgot that Reed Richards is cast. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards, so I mean he's an older gentleman as well, so that actually works. I forgot about that because those two should be somewhere near in age at least, or at least look like it, you know. Mm-hmm. So that would be a sick. That'd be a sick Doom.
I think he's got the personality for Doom too.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, acting like the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, that's basically his character in The Boys. Absolutely, yeah,
for sure. But I mean, I can also see him as the Kang replacement. I just feel like that'd be kind of like
I feel like we're just moving away from Kang. I don't feel like they're even doing a recast for that. They're just moving to a different storyline.
They might be. They might just drop it completely. Yeah, it would be interesting if they did. But
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. I wish they could have continued like a John Boyega or something like that. But
it can't be. It can't be something minor, right? Like he's worth something big.
And that was the thing, Oscar, you said that you thought that it was going to be something that might be like kind of a gimmick kind of thing. And like, that would be sad for him to hype it up like that and then it'd be a gimmick.
I know, I just feel like, I don't know if they'll give him like a big, because let's be honest. He's not the youngest guy in the world, even though he's very youthful. Marvel's been looking for people they want these people for 10 years. That's why I don't think he can play a super prominent, like action heavy character type of role.
He's not like 70, is he? He's like 50s or 60s.
Let's look it up.
He's in his 50s, Brian. I mean,
he's definitely not in his 50s. He's 66. He looks great for 66.
Yeah,
but he's 66.
He looks great for 66. But like, yeah, I mean, like he's not. He looks great. He looks great. But like, if you were going like Robert Downey Jr. in 10 years, he'd be 76. I don't know what superhero or villain he would be playing in 76.
Oh,
you know.
Is that right?
So
Robert Downey Jr.'s in his 60s.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
Wow.
Is he not?
Oh no. I was just saying that. I mean, he might be in the 60s now. Yeah. So at the end of his Iron Man, actually, yeah.
He's actually 59, so he's closer than I expected.
Okay,
I thought he was around his early 60s, but
listen, man, in Oppenheimer, he'd be looking old as hell.
I know. There was a stretch. He looks better. There was a stretch during the promotion of Oppenheimer. I was like, damn, Iron Man got old. But
it's amazing what having money can do.
so that's why. Oh, I know. So I don't know. I mean, like,
I'm sitting heavy on Doctor Doom. That's my stretch goal.
Honestly,
I think it's Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Give him 4 movies. How long will that take them? 6 years? He can get that done. He got that. He can get that done.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, too,
And especially like Doctor
sorry.
Doom with a mask, like he can stunt guy that shit. You know,
Exactly.
You know?
That's my thing. Is like as soon as they start getting him moving and having his outfit and stuff, you don't even need to use the actor anymore. You know, you can Darth Vader it. Call it a day.
Dude, the more I think about it, though, I would just love him and Denzel as like Xavier and Magneto, because it would be so it'd be fresh, and like Denzel would be fantastic as a villain. Or like,
listen, Devin, we got Miles Morales. They're not giving us any more black people. They've hit their quota.
Wait. They cast Denzel as Magneto, and then they give him that hairstyle, like the one that.
Oh no. I thought you were gonna say they
had the corner of the waves
coming, in the front.
Bro was
I thought
swimming.
For a second you were gonna say they cast Denzel as Miles Morales. Could you imagine him swinging through New York City?
I just think a training day. You shot me in the ass.
I know.
It is going to be tough for them to cast it though, because like I feel like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were so.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's tough to do like a one-to-one replacement.
You need really strong, charismatic characters.
That not it. Like that was not it.
I mean, I thought they were good, but obviously, like they're great at player training the younger versions. But like the classic, like it's like the Hugh Jackman thing. It's gonna be tough whenever they make that. They finally like pull the trigger on that one, and it's like, all right, this is fresh. It's gonna be hard to do. It's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, agreed.
But excited to see him in this world. I know he's been clamoring for it. So
do we think it could be anything else, like Doom, Professor X, maybe a proposal?
Galactus.
Yeah.
Make him Galactus.
That'd be hilarious. Actually, that's not a bad idea either.
Secret Wars? Could he be maybe some like?
I mean, well, Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is like the big villain of Secret Wars.
Oh,
in a way. Like,
I thought it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's like a big component of Secret Wars. Yeah, absolutely. That's why when Brian said that, I was like, that you might hit the nail on the head with the Doctor Doom.
I mean, Doom is going to be kind of the next Thanos, right? Like he's going to be kind of the big bad.
Yeah.
For multiple movies, at least he should be. So
he should be. He definitely should be. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's again.
That's a solid guess. Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. All right. Moving on to our next piece of news. This is some sad news that recently just happened.
Very sad.
Listeners, you'll know, and Devin will definitely know. Bernard Hill, most famous actor from you would know him as King Theoden from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, passed away like literally today 79, which ain't too bad innings. That's not too bad. You wish for more, but that's not too bad. Not too bad.
Man, I was thinking about it. I was like, how old is Ian McKellen? Because like
it's pretty old.
I mean, Bernard Hill. I thought Bernard Hill was way younger than him.
No,
Ian McKellen's got to be in his 90s or late 80s.
No, he's not that old. I think he's in his 80s.
He is 84 years old.
84.
Okay, 84.
Yeah. He's been aging a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. He's not that much older than like Joe Biden, but he looks way older than Joe Biden. Joe Biden also got work done, to be fair. But
man, yeah, Bernard Hill, R.I.P. Man, iconic.
Yeah. He was in that Titanic. I remember he was in the Scorpion King with The Rock, which is an underrated movie. I love that movie.
What was he in?
Absolutely in that movie.
What role was he in that? I forgot about that.
He's the scientist guy they find in the desert.
Oh my God, you're right.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he's such a good. He's just a phenomenal little actor, and character actor at times. He's so good.
He gave us one of the best cinematic movies, I think, in all of history, which is the speech.
He gave us two of the best cinematic speeches. Yes.
Yeah. The speech before the Ride of the Rohirrim. Oh my God. I used to put in that DVD and watch that every single day.
That's so funny.
Just that scene.
Like just screaming death at the top of their lungs. And it's like, so amazing. Yeah. One of the, for a fact, like that. Yeah. I haven't looked at like Twitter or anything, but I guarantee that's all over it. Just that him giving that speech is all over the world now.
Man.
That, and then, his speech before the Battle of Helm's Deep and Two Towers. Yeah. He's just phenomenal. Just like, and like underrated in the sense that like, that's not like the first character you think of when you think of those movies, obviously, because there's like a million characters and everything. But like, he's got some of the best moments in that entire trilogy.
I think he kind of made Theoden more important, maybe than he was in the books. Like he was important in the books, but I feel like Bernard Hell definitely gave him like some more charisma and stuff. In my opinion, like
sure.
No. Yeah. Sad to see him go. It's very sad, but his memory will literally never die as long as those movies keep coming out. And they were literally re-releasing them next month.
In theaters, the 4K HD, like the full.
Yep.
I will not be seeing them, but good luck, everybody.
I might.
I can't sit still for that long. Sorry.
There will definitely be an applause when those scenes pop up of him in the
absolutely.
in that theater.
Absolutely.
I would want to go to like the opening night where it's like packed, so everybody's cheering and stuff. But I don't know if people around here have that. Like,
there is no opening night. It's literally you only have one chance to get it. They're doing each of them back to back to back 3 days in a row. I think it's like June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Each movie a different day.
Okay, I might.
With one showing.
Fun fact about Bernard Hill is he actually was a character in Fable 3. He was your teacher.
Oh, no shit.
In the beginning, when you like learned sword fighting in the beginning of the first game, that was him.
No shit. There you go.
That's crazy.
That's pretty.
They were like, I've never played Fable 3. Man. That game's great. You should play it.
I think Fable is from like British developers, right? So that's probably got the British connection. Well, R.I.P. Bernard Hill.
R.I.P. Ride now, ride to ruin, and the Red Dawn. Continuing the news, but to do so, we must now travel to the trailer park. So let's go.
Mob Spaghetti.
I don't know if I still got this. I was scared that my
voice. Did the sickness take it away?
And look what it did to me. Oh god.
No. We've ruined Brian for the rest of the show.
That's all I got.
Yes, listeners, we're back at the trailer park this week for 2 trailers that just came out this past weekend. First one let's talk about is The Boys season 4 trailer is out. Cool. I kind of forgot this show's coming up real soon.
Right.
Real soon. Look, I mean, I love The Boys. It's a good fun show. It's
so weird because like I don't get hype when I see the trailers, but then I always super enjoy when I actually watch the show. Like Gen V, I was not interested in GV almost at all, and then that actually ended up being like a pretty phenomenal show. Like I thought it did really well.
Great.
So I'm like, why do I not get excited when this show pops up? I love this show.
No, I know. I think it's just because, like, I don't know. Like, it's such a... We know what to expect from it. And so, like, when you just put, like, a bunch of montages of shit blowing up and stuff in trailers, it's like, this is The Boys. We know what's happening. But, like, we're here for the plot. We want to see what the fuck is going down in this shit, you know?
Yeah. For me, it just looks like it was too heavy on, like, it's just a lot of blood splattering everywhere all over the trailer. It's like, I don't need to see that in the trailer. Like, when you just show me something else. But
I mean, the few tidbits that I picked up on the trailer that I was like, oh, that's actually some new shit was one, it looks like Homelander's kid fucking murders someone he seems. So that little lunatic's gonna go on a killing spree. But he might be conflicted. Who knows? Maybe Butcher will reach out to him and something.
Going down a dark path, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got homeboy from Walking Dead and Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Yeah, fucking Negan. What's his real name though?
God, I can't remember.
It's like a CIA guy, right? Yeah,
great actor.
Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He's been in there before in The Boys, right? He was in there. Like,
I don't think so.
No, I think this is his first. This is his first season. With them.
I thought
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he made an appearance or something. Maybe I'm making that
up. Maybe he made an appearance at the very end of last season, or we just talked about it. I can't remember. But
either way, though, he fits in this universe for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he has a good kind of, I don't know, grit for this kind of show.
Yeah, him and Butcher that's gonna be a fun dynamic to watch. That and obviously we get this obvious nod from for Devin. Did you watch Gen V?
I did not. No.
You should.
Okay,
I think you'd like
a spoiler for that. It's a good show, but because it's in this trailer. That show actually introduced this virus that Butcher talks about in this trailer that can kill supers.
Ooh.
Was introduced in Gen V. So they're kind of stringing that along, and we'll see what that does. Because man, that'll be Butcher with that is like a terrible thing.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be
How many more seasons do you think? And I know Homelander is such a big part of the show, but how many more seasons do you think they can like kick it down the road before they just have to make a decision about him. Either he dies.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I don't think the boys can get past like 6.
Yeah, I didn't read the comics, so I don't like the graphic novel, so I don't know how far it actually goes deep into. But I think he's running out of storyline pretty quickly. So I feel like this has to be like pretty climactic, and then maybe next season would have him, and they die at some point of that. But like, I'm getting over it.
I don't push him so far before he needs to just die or just become powerless. I feel like that would be kind of a fun thing to explore. But
you think they're gonna Avatar Last Airbender him?
Yes,
and I take away your power.
Your power.
Your bending.
That would be fun. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of. It's very allegorical for sure. So, but I mean, from the trailer, I'm definitely excited to watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe I do wonder if we'll get a Soldier Boy coming back. I would imagine maybe not this season, but maybe the next season they'll bring him back. But yeah, what a lunatic fun character to watch though. That comes out the next month. I don't remember the date, but at some point in June, season 4 is dropping, so that'll be fun. All right, moving on to the next and final trailer of the week. This is for The Acolyte. This dropped on May the 4th, obviously Star Wars Day. We get more of what we saw before. We finally get to see Carrie-Anne Moss a little more, wielding a green lightsaber. Trinity with a green lightsaber is pretty cool, not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty hyped for this show. I mean, I didn't really super look into it, but like we get what looks to be the look of the Sith at the very end. Looks very Sithy. Big old helmet.
Black helmet. Like whoa. Crazy.
Like when they have meetings, they have to forget who's who, right? Like all of them in like a circle with their helmets on. It's like they gotta forget. Like, which one are you? Darth who? I don't remember.
They're gonna sell so many action. I'll probably get one.
I want to say, I want one.
Damn it. This is why they never changed, Brian. It's because of us. Like,
yeah. Sells me every time. Give me one cool looking character, and I'm gonna make it my whole personality. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
bang, bang, bang,
I definitely felt some like Darth Revan inspired looks from that.
You know, I love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I love it.
Yeah, so I'm excited. That comes out very soon as well. I think that comes out before The Boys.
Give me those Andor vibes, buddy. Just give me something, or just dark Sith vibes that hit like a murdery.
Something
that would be cool too. But either way, just don't sugarcoat it.
It already looks better than Ahsoka, so that's giving me that's sending well for me because y'all know I did not fuck with Ahsoka.
Yeah, I didn't even finish.
I just need
the
choreo to be better.
Yes,
I just need the choreo to be better.
Yes,
like make the choreo better, and I'm really hoping they do.
Like, man, I want it to be dark, bro. I want it to be dark, like a Sith dub.
I mean,
is what would be great.
I mean, seemingly it's a rising Sith story, so I would imagine,
like, just end it with her, like, killing her own old master or something, like something just good like that.
I definitely think that dude's gonna die. Yeah, absolutely. He's not gonna be able to kill his apprentice, or will he? Maybe that's how it'll end.
Ooh, that would be cool too. Something where it's like just not the kid bullshit like usual.
Yeah,
like we've seen
a little
maybe
maybe some bittersweet, somber vibes towards the end or something. I don't know. Yeah, no, that'll be interesting. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too hyped, but some fresh era of Star Wars we haven't seen in live action like this. I'm very excited for it.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Agreed.
But all right, that is the Trailer Park listeners, which means that is the news, guys. Shall we now move into our main topic of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll see y'all later. I'll be back in a little bit.
Yes, which means this main topic was a little too fast for Devin to keep up with, so he's going to see us later.
Hey, I get it.
Brian, it's me and you. It's time for our main topic, but we are once again trapped in another fortress. This is the fortress we've sort of been in. But now we're in a weird spin-off version that, I'll be honest, Brian, probably wasn't very necessary for anything on the grand scheme of things. But nonetheless, we are in the fortress of...
I am Knuckles. Because that's how I say everything that I say.
Oh, man.
That was my Idris Elba impression, by the way.
Okay. No, it was good. It was good. It's good. Listeners, yes, we are in the fortress of Knuckles, the Paramount Plus exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog cinematic universe spin-off series, 6 episodes, about 3 hours in total. They're each like 20 to 30 minutes, which is the best part about it. This takes place after Sonic 2. So, I guess non-spoilers real quick. Look, I watched this in a day because it was just that quick and I had a day off. So I was like, oh, and then I just kind of rolled through it. It's inherently completely unnecessary. I was kind of hoping it would add to Sonic 3, and I don't believe it does. It'll probably have like a throwaway line in that movie where Knuckles ends up at the end of this, which we'll talk about in a second. Other than that, it started and I was like, okay, this is fun. This is going. And then as it went on, I was like, is it just me or did this seem more kiddie and childish than the Sonic movie did?
Yes, and that's probably my biggest issue with it. Is it seems like we went backwards to what we were accomplishing with Sonic 2, especially. That I thought it had really good jokes, very good themes. It was obviously for children, but still kept like adults interested. This felt like this is for something for children to turn on, and it wasn't for me at all, which I don't know. It felt very Nickelodeon adjacent. Like I thought I was just watching a Nickelodeon show.
Right.
And that kind of fucked with me a little bit.
Yeah, I was just kind of surprised. I was like, it didn't like none of it was like insulting to me, but I was like, oh, this is very much for children. Right? Like this humor is like not. It's fine, but I'm like, I didn't laugh that much enjoying it, but it was never like, ugh, I hate this. Like I never felt
sometimes I was like that. I was like, ugh.
Okay, so yeah. Sometimes some of the characters I was like, ugh.
It got too slapsticky. It got too like Home Alone 3.
Very much.
And that was really bothering me because I was like, that we haven't done this before. Why did we go this route with this? Especially with a character like Knuckles that's supposed to be a little more and that's kind of where we get. We'll get into it as a whole, but that we'll talk about why that bothers me with the character they chose to do this with. But it's like my biggest. I guess finish what your thought process was. How you. I mean, no,
that was pretty much it. Like other than that, I enjoyed it for the most part. Like as far as like I didn't have that high of expectations going into it really. Again, the length is the best part. You can watch. It's basically just watch. You're basically watching the Knuckles movie. It's an extended Knuckles movie until it's not the Knuckles movie anymore, which we'll talk about in a second. But and so like it's fine. Like I will say, like effects wise, still looks. I would say it looks on par to those movies. Like Knuckles, the character design still looks good. Like they didn't cheapen it really for the most part. Idris Elba's still great as Knuckles. He's still delivering lines. And he's still funny and doing his typical Drax type shit. Plot is like again, it's just very child friendly, which isn't a bad thing, but it was just like I kind of wish it was a little more than that with this. And then much like things, whenever this happens, this is always my biggest complaint. It just ends like legit, like on a freeze frame, and I was like, "What the? That's it?" I'm like I think that's what made me mad the most was like. I was half expecting there to be a little epilogue leading into Sonic 3 or something, but I was like, no, they just said, fuck it, whatever. You're not going to have to watch this to see that third movie anyways. Who cares? just fucking ended. But I will say a positive would be, for the most part, I thought the soundtrack was filled with a bunch of bangers. I thought it was very fun. They clearly had a lot of time picking out songs for this show.
Yes. We're... Agreed with the asterisk.
Yeah.
My feelings around this kind of as a whole was I think what kind of made me crabby about this is it wasn't what I expected, I think. And that's kind of disappointing because I felt the same way that you felt, that it was like if they wanted to do this right, they didn't have to make it completely like a full tie-in to what's going to happen in the events of it. But if they did like a Marvel-esque thing, is it could be a complete side adventure, but you got to add a little bit of crumb trail to what you're doing next. And they just didn't really do that. And it was kind of like, okay, I watched this shit for nothing. And it was a mix of that, and then a mix of just like we're creating this completely separate story, introducing another random white man that I really can't care about, and then make a whole story basically around him. Like it's not really Knuckles' show and about his acclamation. It's about Knuckles being a teacher to another fucking guy that wants to make a slapstick joke about bowling. And I was like, I am not sold enough on this joke for us to make that the full 6 episode, theme of like, I'm supposed to really care about this Jewish man's experience with finding his father and finding strength in himself. And it was like, the guy did well. Don't get me wrong. The actor did a good job. And I think the jokes that he did what he was supposed to do. And like the jokes that he didn't land, he had a charisma that worked for what he did, but it just wasn't selling me. I just didn't like it. And I can accept that and be okay with it and like still look critically and don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it did what it set out to do, but it just wasn't what I wanted it to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
That plus I do want them to go a little bit closer to like, yes, this version of Knuckles is not the version of Knuckles that we know from the games and stuff like that. They do still make him an oaf, but it's a little bit different of an oaf. I want them to lean differently into his oafiness, because one thing about Knuckles is like he's pretty stupid and he thinks very aggressively and with his head a lot. Like he's very much head first into situations. And it felt like he was oftentimes giving the character good advice. And it was like, that's not Knuckles. The whole plot line of Knuckles in the first game that he introduces himself into is the fact that he immediately tries to fight Sonic because he doesn't have all the information because he's stupid. And he's just like, oh shit, this guy's a bad guy. I gotta kill him. And it was like, if you had sat there and listened for 2 seconds, you would have known. Right. Do more of that. I think
it's a thing where I think they kind of got trapped in the performance of Idris Elba as well, and the way they did it. So, yeah. But no, I totally see that. And like for me, like I think this show would have been even better. Like I'm fine with the whole like kind of Wade being like the more of the protagonist that Knuckles is, but keep Knuckles in the show for more than 3 episodes.
Yes,
like.
There's a whole episode where he's in the first scene and the last scene, and that is it.
And and that's it. And I was like, damn, okay. Because I remember you were saying that when we first brought it up, but before any of us had watched it. It hadn't come out yet, but I think some early word had come out. I was like, Knuckles is barely in this. I was like, no, there's no way. And then watching it, like the first 3 episodes, I was like, okay, maybe that was just wrong. And then it got to like 4 and 5, and I was like, oh, I kind of see what people were talking about.
Right.
But we'll talk about that. Do you want to get into spoilers now?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, so we're kind of already leading in there. Yeah, there was those, but it's a pro and con because I want to talk about the rock opera episode. The flames.
That was something. I thought that was like one of the things I was like, that landed well for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually really loved that a lot. Yeah. I thought it was very fun. Like they dedicated a whole episode to this weird rock opera that Knuckles is not in, and it's just Wade basically telling the story of Knuckles.
Which I thought that was interesting. And it's like, I like that lore that they're kind of trying to dump with that. And that feels like they're trying to do more. And that's what I wanted, I guess, for the whole part of the show is I wanted them to, you don't have to make it the same shit. I'm fine with that. You can play with the lore the way you want. The owls never existed, whatever. But I want them to like make it kind of like go more towards like what the video games are doing, because that's going to be what sells the product of like, you want these kids to play the video games, right? Like tell them stories about what the video games are like.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, do they want them to play the video game? Like, I think Sega just throws everything, whatever. They're like, who cares?
I truly don't know who leads Sega and what their decision making style is when it comes to like, do we want people to like what we do? Because they seem to go back and forth with like, it's like, oh, that's a really good thing, and that's a really bad thing. That's a really good thing. Oh shit, that's a really bad thing.
It's so weird. I don't understand their business strategy at all. Yeah, so I know that's very interesting. No, but I thought like fucking Michael Bolton lending some vocals randomly in this rock opera, which I was like, that's hilarious. Like that's so funny. That's so good. This whole bit was like yeah, I thought it was so good. Like obviously, like there's so many homages to the video game, like him literally running like a fucking classic like Sonic course.
Dressed up as Knuckles. That's so fucking funny to me.
Dressed up as Knuckles. The one of him like flying versus like with the punch, it was like, oh, so funny.
Yeah,
so good. Which I had to see this when I like looked up like some Easter eggs from it, because obviously I'm less familiar, and I was like, Brian will know. The whole villain is obviously like a big actual villain from a video game that's I can't remember what its name is though. That weird demon that Knuckles fights in the
God. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. He's a thing. So that is like, I guess now canon to this universe, because this is the story of Knuckles that they're saying. So that's fun, and like obviously throwing in little Easter eggs and stuff like that is gonna make people very, very happy. But yeah, I think that was definitely a highlight of the entire season, show, whatever. For me was that whole bit, and again, weird. No Knuckles, just about Wade learning to be better, to find the bravery within himself. Well, yeah, let's quickly talk about Knuckles. Idris Elba, he's back. He's great. He's doing his thing. I was very happy to see Sonic and Tails at the very beginning in the first episode. This is where I go with the whole ending thing. I definitely expected to see them again at the very end, like a weird, like little bookend thing.
A little bit, right?
Nothing. Like nothing. So weird. But again, I was like, is it maybe because like when Sonic 3 starts, it's gonna start with, oh, Knuckles doesn't live here anymore. He lives with Wade and his mom or whatever, or wherever they're living. So maybe that I don't know. But it was just very interesting that they didn't bring that Sonic and Tails back for like usually like whenever that happens, like Sonic will come back. It's like, oh, hey Knuckles, so you found yourself and you're better for it type of like that weird conversation that they always have. Like Knuckles, like Sonic tried to have with Knuckles at the very first episode, where he's like, we got to talk, and so like yeah, weird, very weird. I didn't understand that, but
I don't know if it was a budgeting thing that maybe some parts of this feel kind of rushed. I know it was only going to be 6 episodes. And I feel like that was always planned, but it's like it feels like one of those situations where they almost forgot to write a script and they're like, oh shit, we actually have to make a TV show. Because that's why that like abrupt end feels so kind of gross around it. So it's like, y'all remember you got to like tie this shit up, right? Like that's an important aspect of the show, right?
Yeah. So that was just very, I don't, it's, and I don't know if like, if that's why Knuckles isn't in it as well for budgetary reasons, maybe, or I don't know.
Probably. And that's what sucks, is probably knowing that, is that the budget was probably fairly low and they knew they wanted to use the version that they used in the movie, and maybe that was expensive to continue to animate something like that. Because, I think some of the best moments are the moments where he finally gets to shine, like the fight scene in episode 3. At the Shabbat is so fucking funny to me, and I was like,
oh my
and that
God.
was like one of the first jokes that really landed for me, because before then, the first couple episodes, I was like, this shit's kind of stupid. Like Kid Cudi's in this, and he's doing his best.
He's doing his best.
He's doing his best.
But it kind of works that there's almost a level of camp to this.
Yeah, it's very
especially
campy.
with those two villains. So he's kind of working with it in a way like that. Like
they're doing it the same way.
He's pulling it. Yeah,
they're doing it the same way they did with Robotnik's sidekick in the first 2 movies. But I feel like he sold it in a better way. His jokes felt more clean and more genuine, where these felt like very like, okay, you're just trying to get cheap laughs from children.
Well, yeah, it's like they don't got you can't bounce off Jim Carrey, the master.
Right. That's
funny.
Fair. Yeah, maybe that's the biggest issue. Is this actually isn't very good without Jim Carrey. Like this franchise actually kind of sucks without Jim Carrey. That could be it.
Oh shit! Did you just figure out the franchise secret is Jim Carrey? Oh shit!
Because I don't know. I just felt like all the steps that they made towards with Sonic 2. It feels like they kind of went backwards with this, in my opinion. And I think
this definitely felt more akin to Sonic 1.
Yes. Yeah. And the heavy reliance on characters that we don't really care about with the human characters really fucked that up, in my mind at least.
No, I agree. Like there were times where I'm like, all right, I'm getting a little sick of Wade's shtick a bit. I'm like just like everyone in this show is just absurd. Everyone's a lunatic. Not a single one of these people are actual people.
And that's what's so funny, because the first 2 movies don't do that. Like the only caricature is Jim Carrey, and that makes sense for Dr. Robotnik to be crazy. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense, and that campiness works. But like none of the humans made those kinds of jokes in the first 2 movies, and then they get this guy, and every single time he fucking gets on screen, he does something fucking slapstick ridiculous.
And I wonder if that's because they were like, maybe we'll do the flip because Knuckles is the serious one now, but. He's not in it enough.
Right. So to bounce off of that, I don't know. It got just too much it's like, I haven't watched Nickelodeon as an adult, but I think if they still make like in-person shows, they feel like this.
Probably that.
That's what it feels like, right?
No, absolutely. Like going back to the dinner real quick, like his sister, absolute lunatic, absolute psychopath. She just stabs him with a fork for no reason.
And I couldn't decide if that was funny. And I was like, I think if other parts of the script were written better, her little campiness and like her thing of like, I'm a FBI agent could have hit better. But the fact that he also was being like, oh, mom, what's going on? And he's like, oh, mom, I don't know. It just was really fucking annoying to me. I just found it very annoying. And it was like, I know there's a place where this joke could like hit better of like, yeah, your sister's a weirdo. And she's like potentially like kind of like sketchy right wing because of some things that she's dealt with. But instead, it was just annoying.
Yeah, I didn't like. There were very few times where I found her endearing.
Exactly. But it's like I think there could have been it because like that whole joke of like you're messing with a future military soldier kind of thing. Like that could be funny. You just didn't do it right.
Yeah. But I will say, like, comedy wise, there were actually a few lines like I noted and wrote down that I thought were like just like the combination of the delivery and that it's like not really all that funny, but just the way it was handled was actually funny to me. Like there was one line, and they're mostly, I think they all come from Wade. To be honest, it's two of them were from the dinner when he's arguing with his sister about her FBI jacket, and she like says it like she exaggerates the way she says FBI. She's like FBI or whatever, and Wade just like off the cuff goes, "Well, then they should reprint the jackets." And I was like, that was funny. I don't know why that line just it was just funny.
Every once in a while, it's like they got it. And it's like, I wonder if they got Ben Schwartz to kind of help with the script. They let him do some of that in Sonic itself. Right. But because it seems like every once in a while, there was like, that was a good joke to the point that literally I said to the screen, I was like, that was a good one. That was a good joke. Like they hit that one.
Right. Yeah. Like that, I like the one where, because obviously Knuckles is obsessed with grapes. That's like his favorite snack is grapes. And
I love it. That actually happens in the game. That's a game thing.
Right. I did hear about that. So that's fun. That is fun. Yeah. So like little things like that. That's cool. But he's at the dinner and it's like, it happens like off to the side. So you barely hear it. But Knuckles goes, "But where are the grapes?" And then Wade again just goes, "They're in the wine, buddy." like little, just like random shit like that. I thought was just very funny. I thought it was good. And then the last one being in like the last episode when they have the sister and mom held hostage. And they're like, he's like, "We're gonna kill one of them." And he goes to the sister, and Wade's just like, "Kill her. It's fine. We don't need my sister. Nope, kill her. That's okay. It's okay." Because in my head, I said the same thing like a second before he was like, "Thank you. Thank God they didn't miss that joke. Please, thank you." So yeah, like I mean, speaking of the dinner, like you had brought it up, that fight scene was actually so fun and creative.
Doing it all as like a one shot, I thought was really fun. All around the two candles to make sure they stayed lit. I was like,
yes,
you have good ideas. I know there's somewhere in there. There's good ideas because they really.
Did you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie Game Night?
No, actually. Did they have
you should check it out. Or just like the comedy kind of aspect of that. There's very much reminded me of that movie. But yeah, that scene was like obviously like I was waiting for the turn where the mom was like, she teaches what
Krav Maga. Yeah.
And I was like, when's that coming out? And then her and Knuckles are just kicking the shit out of people in the kitchen. Like, so funny. So funny.
They were a little lazy with that. Like, she did not do any Krav Maga. She just was hitting people with it.
Yeah, sorry. Very much, yeah. But like stunt work, like looked good. It looked good. It was fun. Like I was like, I bought into it. It was very
They got
fun.
campy with it a couple times.
Over the topness worked.
Yeah, they got a little campy with it. Like they did the whole secret agent like in his head thing with Wade, and they had him flip and then obviously go behind the pillar, and then it'd be him, and it was like, okay, obviously that's supposed to be a stunt double, and they're making that little joke there. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting with some of that stuff.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite scenes for sure. I think in like the whole show, as far as like the humans doing things.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. I think like Chief, what's his name?
Pachacamac.
Pachacamac.
Yeah, King Pachacamac. He's from Sonic Adventure. So I thought that was a cool reference to put him in there because he was like he's actually kind of a bad person. He's a murderous psycho in Sonic Adventure games.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he's the one that kills all the Chow.
What?
Because they want the Chaos Emeralds for eternal power. He's the one that leads the rebellion because in Sonic Adventure, this is a stupid lore dump. It's just a rant, so sorry for anybody that doesn't care about this kind of shit. But the storyline of Sonic Adventure, of course, is there's this giant water monster called Chaos that's released by Dr. Robotnik, and Chaos is actually the protector of the Chaos Emeralds. And the Master Emerald, who was the previous one before Knuckles became that. And Knuckles, all the echidnas in 3,000 years before Knuckles was born, were like, hey, that motherfucker's got some cool emeralds. I hear they make you immortal and make you super cool. And King Pachacamac was like, we're going to run that motherfucker's fade and we're going to steal that shit. So they set fire to the temple and kill all the Chows. And that's why Chaos goes on a murderous spree, because he's like, man, all these people fucking suck. Like, we gotta get rid of these people. So he did that.
Oh my God.
In the show. They just made him a
This man
doofus.
committed genocide. What the fuck? Against tiny little woodland creatures?
For people that know what Chow are like little tiny blue creatures that are like all babies.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my god.
And in this show, they dilute him to just some guy that's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna
crazy old man.
Yeah.
Fucking voiced by fucking Doc Brown from Back to the Future, though. Which I was like, that's hilarious.
That's so random. I don't know how they be paying people for this shit. Like, what the fuck?
I know. Honestly, hilarious. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's quickly talk about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more there's to say about Kid Cudi and the two villains.
They were there.
Just fucking Home Alone. Speaking of Home Alone, Home Alone ass villains, just fucking bumbling idiots. A bit. Honestly, they could have probably been more bumbling and idiots than they were.
I think that's what. Yeah, they weren't selling it like with the show that was so ridiculous in so many other aspects. They felt the least ridiculous sometimes, and that was kind of pissing me off. Where it's like, why is Wade like this, but y'all aren't worse than this?
Right. It took me a while to realize that they were turning their back on Gunn and trying to fuck him over. I was like, oh, is that what's happening in this plot?
It was hard to pay attention to them. It was hard to pay attention to Wade's like former bowling dude. It was just like, I don't care about him when he came back and was like, I'm trying to get this bounty or whatever. I don't care.
The duel thing. It's so what a weird universe this show was.
Yeah,
it's so absurd.
It just felt like they were putting just a random bunch of stuff that they just wrote jokes and were like, this is funny, this is funny, this is funny, and then
it
just
felt
put
like
it together.
A 3-hour long SNL sketch.
Yes. Sometimes it did. That I was like, this is just so random. That I was like, how'd they do this?
Like so weird.
All
the
for
whole duel on the motorcycle versus the bike, and they have like swords. And, like he cuts his ponytail off.
They committed too hard to bits. That like if it's not funny, it's not gonna sell any part of this. That it's like you got to keep them quick and keep them consistent if you're gonna keep doing that. But yeah, that shit didn't. I didn't like that. I didn't think that was very funny personally.
No, yeah, I mean, and I guess same thing with speaking of villains, the Hound, whose name I can't remember. I'm sorry, the actor's actual name. So you're the Hound. He's in this for like I think a combined 4 minutes maybe.
I was like, because I pointed him out because I was watching this with Rachel, and I was like, "Oh, that's the guy from Game of Thrones." Like, that's pretty cool. And then it was like, never saw him again.
See you at the end for 4 minutes until you like, get obliterated by a giant bowling ball. He's dead. Knuckles murdered him. Holy shit, is he dead?
He died. Yeah, I thought he was gonna have a bigger. Yeah, they added a lot of weird like villainy in this that I was kind of like, who do you want to be the villain for this?
Right. I feel like there's too many villains. There's like 5 villains in this. There's
and none of them matter.
There's the 2 bumbling idiots, and then Wade's dad.
And then what is the fucking Iblis or whatever? Is the fire god? It's like what?
Oh yeah. I don't know, but I definitely thought like they were gonna make the Hound like a notable Sonic villain. As far as I know, he's not. Is he?
No.
Like, is that big mech he has at the end anything? No, right?
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah. So I was kind of surprised by that. I figured they would throw in something like even like a weird minor villain or something, but no, I guess not. But I will say, I guess speaking on that fight, that there was one moment that genuinely got me like excited. It's when Knuckles unlocks the flames of disaster in real life. And they just play this really random sick guitar riff when he gets it for no reason. I was like, what is this? What's happening right now? I don't know, but I love it. And it was just like, I watched it like 4 times because it was just so fun. It did the classic video game thing where like Knuckles literally hits the final boss like 3 times and he wins.
I got it.
Like, just punches him 3 times. And then throws a big bowling ball on him and he wins. It's like, that's a video game boss there if I had ever seen one.
Love it. Love it into it.
So that was fantastic. That was great. Let me see. I don't even know what else I got here. Wade's mom, she was fun.
Yeah, I liked her. She was
James Marsden.
Yeah, right. Sad.
I guess they couldn't afford him. They're like, sorry, bro. We got Idris Elba in here.
Yeah, it's already cost too much money. Yeah, I don't care about anything about the bowling storyline really to talk about anything like that. Oh, yeah.
There. I forgot about that. The plot.
Yeah, right. The whole thing about, like, I gotta, beat my dad because he sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I think it's funny seeing what's his face. God, what's his name? Who plays his dad? Damn it, what's his name? The fucking from the Princess Bride. I can't remember. I love him just being an over the top English douche. Like he's very good at it. Very pompous and arrogant and clearly evil all of the fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
He's got a funny looking face. I don't like his face.
He kind of looks like a Shrek character at times.
he doesn't, and even in Princess Bride, he didn't read as like human to me. Something about him. I don't know how to explain it. He's not
funny.
American. He's like what, Welsh or something?
No, yeah. Something I think he's
English.
Might be English.
Yeah, he's just
Might
English.
Just be straight up
yeah,
English.
yeah, okay. He's older than I expected. I just looked him up. Carrie Ellis.
There we go.
He's 61.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a little up there.
He's older than I expected.
Yeah. Been around for a little while. Yeah, I mean, like the whole bowling stuff. It's just
so random. It's all just so random that I was just like, that is. You have a whole 6 episodes to deal with a very interesting character, and you make it about a story about you made basically like Balls of Glory Junior.
It was Balls of Glory and Dodgeball mixed together.
Why did you take the time to do that? And that's kind of what's fucking me with this, where I think it's backwards, step backwards with Sonic 2, where it's like Sonic 1 was very much and they'll never admit this, but it's very much a script where they said Control F and replace protagonist with Sonic, and then made a movie about random shit and put Sonic in it. And this feels like that again, where it's like you're not building a world based on the characters that you think are interesting. You're building a generic script and then putting a character that make a lot of money on top of it.
And that's the thing that I was like when we heard like a couple weeks ago how like the producer of this universe was like, we're trying to make like these movies like Avengers Endgame level event type shit. It's like, how are you gonna do that when you ain't tying these universe? Like this is going into Sonic 3, you will, I guarantee 99% you will not have to have watched this TV show.
Absolutely not. And that was the thing. It was like that. Whatever you just said, that was not it. You did not try with this. What you just made.
And that's why I was generally like confused, because like we had heard how like they showed Sonic 3 footage recently at some con with like where they also like talked about Keanu Reeves as the voice. I was surprised that this wasn't like the end tag, that footage or whatever, like a teaser for Sonic 3 at the end of like what a miss.
Show Dr. Robotnik that's coming and out show him
this year
showing Shadow the Hedgehog.
Something.
Show Evo Robotnik. They name drop fucking Robotnik's goddamn grandfather, which is a big part of the Shadow the Hedgehog universe, and they don't do anything with it. Why did you do that then? Why make a name drop and not like show like, oh, like here's the old footage of him, and then maybe show a little blip that's like, oh, there's Shadow in the background. Like that's great.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm spitballing. This isn't even from. Like... I'm not even in the room with this, so I just made that up in fucking 5 seconds. What the fuck could have y'all have done? Maybe you need to hire me. I don't know.
Maybe the strike fucked this show. I don't know.
that could be valid, actually.
I don't know.
Because they did have to be filming Sonic 3 during that time as well. So maybe they didn't have time for this.
I don't know.
People like it.
I was like, as soon as it ends,
it's got decent reviews.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. I don't think it is a bad watch. It's just like. It's just fine. It's not like lower your expectations. It's not like Sonic 2, like which we both loved Sonic 2. Yeah, I thought that was a great movie. Great.
I thought they really did well with like just taking it forward and building it into something that's more unique.
Yeah. I don't even think it's the thing where it's like Knuckles can't do a solo thing. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like do something more involving of Knuckles. You know?
Yeah, it's not even Knuckles can't do a solo thing. Knuckles didn't do a solo thing.
Right.
That's the issue.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's like a hard like even 6 out of
like,
10 for me. In that I wish I had watched this while doing something else. I wish I hadn't sat down and given it my full attention.
Right. Yeah. Same. Yeah. I mean, I like constantly like the last like 2-3 episodes. I just wrote in my notes, where the fuck is Knuckles? Where is he? Like even like at the end and after they beat the bad guy and they do the bowling tournament, the finale of it or whatever, like. I'm like, where's Knuckles? Why is he at a bar watching the showdown at a bar? Why isn't he in the room with his so-called friend watching him win this turn? Like, why is Knuckles at a bar watching this on the TV?
Does Knuckles drink?
It's just, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. Also, I think Knuckles is Jewish now. I think he's honorary Jewish now.
I think so.
Yeah. Which is very fun. I mean, I think that's all I kind of pretty much have for this, let me just double check.
I hope Sonic 3 is not like this.
Yeah,
I hope they get away from whatever that was with the child factor. I think being a little too childish kind of shot in the foot for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also accept that I am 32 years old and this was maybe not made for me. But I'm also one of the biggest Sonic fans, so like I would appreciate if you do some.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of times I just felt confused and what audience they were trying to reach with this.
I same because I don't know. It's very interesting, but I was just mad at ending on a fucking freeze frame. I wanted to blow my TV up.
That was so fucking
I was so pissed.
I'm glad that made you upset too.
I was so mad about that.
I said, huh?
I guess the last thing. I don't think this happened in 2, but we finally got to see Knuckles glide.
Yeah,
which I thought was a fun moment.
Yeah, that was super
that was
cool. Yeah. And he flew with a homeboy on top of him, which that was interesting.
Oh yeah, much like Sonic does. Yeah. No, I thought that was very cool. I was like, all right, cool. That was a fun little video game moment that they actually wove into the plot story, whatever. I thought that was fun.
They gave him, which they don't do so much with Sonic, but they kind of gave him some of his like signature moves in the fight scene with the mother, where it's like he does like his little spin uppercut and stuff like that. And I was like, I appreciate that they put that in there.
No, that's the thing is like the attention to detail to the Knuckles stuff I thought was actually good. It's just it's not all this show's about. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's it for me though, man. I think that's pretty much all of the fucking that's Knuckles, man. That's Knuckles.
It's somehow what I expected, like feeling wise, not how I expected when I actually watched it. I was kind of hoping to be pleasantly surprised, but instead I didn't get what I wanted. I don't think. I felt like Sonic 2 was such a improvement upon the first one that I was really hoping that they were gonna like hone this in a little bit better and like figure out what they actually want to do with these characters. And it sounds like they're still a little fumbling. Which
I agree.
That sucks.
And I can't believe that Knuckles If You Buck was not in it. It was only in the trailer.
Yeah. That's what I want to talk about real quick. Man, get rid of all those needle drops. We need to put some actual Sonic music in here because Sonic.
They were too many. So many needle drops. But you're right. If they could replace it with actual Sonic music, that's why for a second I was like, "Is this random guitar riff? Is this like some Knuckles music right here?" And I was like, "I don't think it is."
And that's the thing. Is like Sonic is known. One of the biggest parts of Sonic as a game is the music. People love Sonic music.
Right.
Drill into that. Make new versions of those songs, and like people really fuck with that.
I mean, like that is one thing I think they could learn from the Super Mario Brothers movie is that they wove a lot of those themes into the score of it, and like those are some of my favorite parts. You know, it was very cool. But like, do that with Sonic. Like,
there's too much music in that game to not use it.
No, that's fair. And like, hopefully, again, maybe they're saving it all up for Sonic 3. Maybe that's what they're hoping for. You know,
they better not fuck this up. Keanu Reeves is in this now, brother, and we protect that man. Just don't fuck this up.
We do. Protect him at all costs. We will end you, sake. No.
This is a threat.
It's not a threat. Nope, it's not a recorded threat.
This is not a threat. We're making a joke. Please don't fight me.
Yep. Nope. Just make the movie good. But okay. That's Knuckles, listeners. Again, check it out. It's only 3 hours max if you want to. I'm sure your kids will enjoy it. But
good kid show. Right. It's if you like Knuckles, why not? It's only 3 hours of your time.
Yeah. But other than that, I haven't watched it yet, but I guarantee Tales of the Empire is much more worth your time than this.
That's fair.
and it's half the time. But anyways, that's Knuckles, listeners. That was fun. Brian, we'll see you for Sonic 3. I'm very excited for that. Bring us Shadow. Bring us Keanu. Let's do it. But in the meantime, shall we now invite Devin back? Because now he was able to catch up to us as we were speeding along. And moving to our final segment of the week.
Let's do it.
Free for all, title pending. Listeners, this is our segment where we can kind of do whatever we want. Talk about our day, talk about life, fight, rant, argue. It is free for all. Would anyone like to go first? Devin, I know you had something.
I got something for you guys.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna frame it to you like this, okay?
Someday this information might be useful.
Yeah, I want you to help answer me the question: did I lose my mind or did I fully gain it? And like, did I make a really irrational choice or a rational choice?
Oh no! What did you do, listeners? Brian knows what's about to happen. I do not. So I'm. Oh no! What did you do?
Because I've been going back and forth in my head, but I'm sticking.
Oh no!
I bought a gaming PC late Friday night. Yeah. So,
no shit. What?
Late Friday night. It was like on sale. So
it was kind of my fault. Yeah.
It was one that Brian sent me. But here's my logic. Let me run you through the logic.
Like a PC, more like not a laptop, a PC.
No, like a big box with like colored fans and shit. Like, it's got like a glass side. It's got I don't know how the fans are going to work. I'm probably just going to leave that in the demo setting. It's going to be the rainbows forever. But yeah.
Holy shit.
Probably will download malware instantly and brick it. We'll see. But
I'm gonna see. I might have a 3-month card to like Game Pass to get you started out and stuff like that. You're gonna love Xbox Game Pass on PC. That's just dope.
Oh, is it different from PC to Xbox?
I mean, if you all have Ultimate already, then you already have it. But if you have just the Xbox version, then you have to pay like $5 extra or something like that. But I do also have like I think things. But yeah, well, PC Game Pass is great. I always have Game Pass.
I can't believe you got a Switch and a PC within like the same year. That's insane. You're not going to do anything outside anymore. You're never going to see the sun.
Crazy. It definitely was not. Like, didn't need to do it right now, but here's my logic. Let me take you through my logic, okay?
Okay, let me see.
The logic is like I've always been putting it off. I always wanted one, but I've always been putting it off because I'm like, well, maybe I can like ask for it, for like ask people to like throw me some money or something for like Christmas or something. And my fiance was like, well, you can't do that. That's, you can't just ask people for cash instead of presents. That's like not a nice thing to do. Like,
isn't that?
Right, well,
I would do that.
So if I can never subsidize it with other people's help, then I have to do it myself at some point. And I'd rather do it sooner than later because I don't really have a great laptop. Like this one's like, okay.
Oh my God, Devin's recording capabilities just skyrocketed. I just realized. Holy shit. Listeners, he's been recording on a rock as of late.
Well, see, I kind of wanted to keep doing it that way because it's just easy. But anyway,
I mean, we'll figure it out. But wow.
Yeah, so but here was my thinking. I knew it was going to be like a certain amount of money too, right? And then Brian sent me one which was under what I expected, and it was really good for like the value, and it was on sale. So I'm like, you might, if you're going to bite the bullet sooner than later, you might as well just bite it and get it over with, and then you're set up. So am I crazy, or did I talk myself into it?
Yeah, I mean, I bought my computer.
I think Brian talked you into it.
So
crazy.
He just texted me and he asked me about it, and I did similar to what I did for you, Oscar. Where I was just like, "Oh yeah, well they like there's some deals for it all the time." Like, and I said, for example, there's this one right here, right now, and then Devin was like, "Locked, got it," and I'm like, "Huh? Wait a second, hold up." And he was like, "I think I'm gonna get it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it."
Thanks, done. It's here tomorrow.
And I was like, yeah, man. I mean, if you want to like wait it out, like I'll send you more deals as I see them. And he was like, no, I think this feels good. Like, how do you feel about it? And I was like, yeah, this is a good computer for the price. And I mean, just for like reference, as I bought my computer at a bad time when like GPU prices were pretty expensive, and mine would have been comparable or a little bit lesser than what yours was, and I spent like maybe $400 more than you did.
Oh wow!
So you got a better deal than I did.
And that's what I feel good about is, because I got the recommendation from you, and it's basically, this is like, you could just boot it up. You don't have to build anything. You're just going to be able to like, just start immediately. Yeah. And that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So first order of business is to get Witcher with mods.
He's definitely not going outside anymore.
Wait, I'm sorry. No, Helldivers 2. That's going to be first up. And then I really want to play this like Star Wars tactical shooter game. I've seen lots of clips of it on YouTube. I don't know what it's called, but like there's a mod. It's like a tactical shooter game.
Like a space shooter? You talking about?
No. It's like in the main version of it. It's like very tactical. Like one hit, you're dead, right? But it's so a lot of the shooting is like really far away from each other. But the mod, so usually it's like actual like Call of Duty kind of thing, right? Or like Battlefront or Battlefield. But the mod is like Clone Wars kind of stuff, and the clips are just like, it looks so much fun.
Interesting. I wonder what that game is. You have to shoot me the name when you figure it out.
Yeah, it's called like Galactic Assault or something, like something kind of generic.
I've never heard of that game before in my life. I know most Star Wars games. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like a mod of another game, but I'd like to play that.
Devin, your gaming is gonna like you're gonna see stuff in like 1080p.
I mean, that's what I was telling Devin about too, because he was like, like how future proof is this? Like, what kind of like what can I expect from the game? And I was like, all the PlayStation games that everyone, is excited about playing at 60 FPS for the first time. I played like Final
Dude,
Fantasy
oh my God.
at 120 FPS. So I had even a smoother experience than like Oscar even got playing like on PS5.
Holy shit. Devin can play The Last of Us now.
Yeah, you can play Last of Us on PC. That game's on there. Last of Us 2 is going to come out pretty soon on PC, I'm sure.
You can play God of War.
Devin, Horizon Zero Dawn. All those best PlayStation 5 games that have come out, you can play now.
And that's another thing, is because I was like, I'm not going to get PS5 because the way things are going, it seems like if you have a PC, you'll be set up like to be able to play most things.
If you're willing to wait, you can probably play most AAA games that are going to come out for PlayStation 5.
Right,
exactly. So I'm trying to move away from the console and just have like a good one console thing. Yeah, and the Switch, of course.
I was about to say, you have a Switch.
And what this means is if one day Oscar ever stops having so much goddamn work to do, we can finally play PC games together, guys.
Ooh.
We all got PCs
That's
now.
True.
Heck yeah.
That's true.
Not Alex.
Yeah.
That sucks. But
Alex has a Mac, so he's fucked.
He's
but...
fucked. He can't play any games, but
he can't.
Yeah. So
he can't sit with that.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for the information and the recommendation. And yeah, here we go.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for you. I think
Devin, how much was it? And what was your credit card info you put in?
That's not important.
Just in case we wanted to.
No, that's awesome, Devin. That was Devin.
Dude. That's
awesome. Dude, I'm very happy for you. Do you know when it's coming?
I think next week.
Nice.
This week.
Let's fucking go.
So.
Nice. That's fucking sick.
So again, I'm not have to call Brian, so I don't, immediately. Like I want to know, like, do I download Steam first?
We'll talk about it. Definitely, like if you want to call me whenever you receive it, get it set up, and I can definitely instruct you. We can even go through Discord.
You're gonna have to get so many fucking new accounts for different stupid PC servers. Devin's gonna have 18 different accounts.
I have a lot of storefronts. I will tell you that. That is the worst part about PCs. I have a lot of storefronts. Epic Game Store, you're gonna have to get that. They give you free games all the time.
Okay, my main question is like, where do you get mods? Do you get mods on Steam?
I can show you. Steam does have like something called Steam Workshop, but I use a thing called like Nexus Mods, and that's where a lot of people put their stuff on there. We'll talk there. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. I got
this you. This is the exact thing I needed from Brian. Like when I got my new laptop like 6 months ago, and just haven't had the time to actually sit down and do it.
I might just have to do a course and just put you
Brian,
both on there.
Teach me.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the mods because there's some Witcher ones that I've been thinking about for years.
Yeah, Witcher is gonna be that's gonna be number one. That's sick as shit. That's dope.
And I'll use it for other stuff too, like career stuff and that kind of thing. But I starting to feel pretty limited by an Xbox One and an old
when you told me you were playing Halo Infinite on an Xbox One, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
How's it running?
It's gotta be like less than 30 frames. There's no way. That game is already crunchy.
12 frames a second.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's I'm happy for you, man. That's sick as shit. As someone who recently joined the next gen of computers this year, welcome to the club. Yeah. It's just a nice feeling to press a power button and it's on within like 15 seconds. It's like not 15 minutes.
Worth the money just in that.
Load times, man. It's like the PS5. Load times are the best thing about it. That's all I want cut down from anything in my life now are load times.
Load times, yep.
Waiting for a bus, waiting for a train, at load times of life. Life's load times. Cut them down.
Your games will boot way faster. Your Windows will boot way faster. Everything will boot way faster. So,
all right, I can very quickly go next. Because speaking of May the 4th, I did not watch Tales of the Empire yet. I did not have time, but I will watch it. I don't know if we'll cover it in the show. I know me and Brian quickly talked about Tales of the Jedi. But depending on what the weekly shuffle is of topics and stuff, maybe we'll talk about it. Who knows? But either way, I haven't watched it yet. But I did finish, because it also wrapped up this past week, couple of days before May the 4th. The final season of The Bad Batch wrapped up finally. That Star Wars little spinoff of the Clone Troop 99. They batch themselves. 3 seasons. This is the last one. Wrapped it up. I honestly like the last episode. The one for one thing. Last episode is like a big 50-minute episode. It's actually really good. Like this show is like it's definitely a kid's show. And like Brian, I think has watched like the first and second season. I don't know.
I watched the first season. I didn't finish the second one. I've started it, but fell off.
Yeah. It's got great moments, much like most of those Star Wars animated shows. There's always an episode or two where it's like, this is the really kiddie one that I don't really care that much about. But when it gets like to its actual shit, which is usually how these shows end and everything, it's just firing on all cylinders. Like I was very emotional with the last one. I felt for characters that I didn't feel that much for in ways sometimes. I was like, it's fine. but like I really felt for a lot of these characters, and honestly, I'm sad to see them go. And I guarantee they'll be back in some form or fashion. It's some other live action or animated thing, because Dave Filoni just can't help himself in making these shows, which is good because I enjoy them for the most part. Yeah, it was really good. I'm sad to see them go. And also I didn't think about this until I heard or read upon this fact that the Bad Batch ending is potentially like this is the end, at least as far as we know for now, of the prequel era of Star Wars. Like there's nothing else prequel era after this.
Only took 25 years. So
25 years. 25 years, Phantom Menace. We've been in that prequel era still somehow for 25 years. And I didn't even think about that because it's just it never occurred to me.
Interesting.
It's all sequels now, baby. Devin, your favorite.
I'm sad that I fell off because I do enjoy it. It gets a little kiddie, and that was kind of my criticism. We both talked about that when we talked about it, Oscar.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I still think their animated stuff is usually my favorite stuff.
Even look-wise, it looks...
It's beautiful.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much... Go watch the first Clone Wars movie and also the first Clone Wars episode to now, it's night and day.
It's very like Toy Story compared to like what we're making now, where it's like, we thought this shit was the pinnacle. Yeah. And now look at where we're at.
It's crazy. But yeah, great show. Will be missed. But again, we'll see them. They'll probably be in Ahsoka season 2 or some shit. And as usual, shout out to God of War Ragnarok. I have not yet platinum Final Fantasy, so it doesn't get to reach the pinnacle yet.
Boo, nice. But
one trophy away still.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, your boy has finally gotten through every bit of Final Fantasy 7 Final 7 Remake Intergrade, because I beat the DLC intermission and did all the little stuff with that. That involve Yuffie's story regarding her kind of introduction of like Midgar and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And they're doing some shit.
Yeah.
That I wasn't expecting. I had all of the names very much in my head after I finished it, and now I've forgotten all of them. Because I was not prepared.
Should we spoiler this real quick?
Yes, we should 100% spoiler it. Because we are talking about other Final Fantasy games and Final Fantasy 7 as well. Because one of the big bads that are in this game is from Vincent's game, Dirge of Cerberus. Both of those guys are from that. Yes.
I see. I didn't know that.
So those guys didn't mean anything to you. You're probably like, who the fuck are those dudes?
No. Absolutely not.
Let me. I gotta pull up the character.
Oh my god! You know what? That just makes some stuff in Rebirth explode my mind.
Oh my god! Yeah. I can't believe you didn't know that. Yeah, so we're talking about Nero and Whis. Nero and Whis are both characters that were introduced in Dirge of Cerberus, which is Vincent's storyline. Final Fantasy VII, kind of a prequel talking about his story and taking down a certain part of
the deep underground.
Yeah, what do they call them? The deep underground, and they're like a subsection of some bad guys. And it's talking about them. So basically, for people that don't know, Yuffie is a character that's introduced later in the actual Final Fantasy VII story, but in this game, they made a DLC kind of showing her looking through Midgard when they were first about to drop the plate, which is a big story sequence that happened in Final Fantasy VII that kind of destroys a good part of Sector 7. So that's a part that she didn't actually exist in the original game that they kind of added to give her some storyline, and then it involves her and her companion Sonnen.
Sonnen, yeah.
Fuck. That shit's sad.
Man.
We saw it coming from a mile away. I still hate to see it. As soon as he was like, I'm trying to avenge my sister, I was like, fuck.
Oh, God.
He's dead.
R.I.P. Sonnen.
He's fucking dead.
He's coming back. He'll come back. She got him. She'll get back. We'll get him back.
God.
We'll get him back.
Yeah. So that's a whole thing. It's her partner, and she's like the big boss is walking around kind of dealing with that. But then I can't remember what leads to her. She deals a lot with Scarlet, which is a part of Shinra. A main villain in Shinra, kind of like one of the secondary characters, and her experience with that. But then they release the Kraken, and the Kraken is in the version of this guy named Nero. That Nero, he has some psychological issues, and also some magical issues, and also he is in a straitjacket. He fights you in a straitjacket. He does not use his hands to beat your ass.
He's got like wings and shit. Very Final Fantasy.
He's got mechanical wings, and that's what's so interesting to this, because like in the actual game of Final Fantasy VII Remake, nothing this weird outside of like we've talked a little bit about the ghost guys really happens in that game. But this was super
right.
This was super
this
like
was weird.
I don't know, Kingdom Hearts' Final Fantasy 10-ish kind
Some
of
Metal
thing.
Gear shit, weird.
Yeah, very Metal Gear Solid, that this character is like, who the fuck is this guy and what's going to happen with him? And that's so interesting that you didn't look up to who he was, because I'm sure that made you even that much more of like, who the fuck is this guy? When he pops up and looks scary and shit. But yeah, that means they're introducing some backstory with him as well. And they're really trying to make a full pie with this version of Final Fantasy VII, which I kind of really appreciate, because I didn't play fucking Dirge of Cerberus. That game was terrible. It was really poorly received.
Right.
But it kind of gets back into those backstories of the characters that we just get to see much about. So I thought that was really cool that they're trying to go full hard to make this like the experience, which leads me to believe that they might start adding some Advent Children stuff as well. Into these games as a whole, to kind of fully just flesh this out as being like, this is how you learn the story of Final Fantasy VII, is through this game.
Like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
I like that was a theory that I heard as well, where it's like, I'm glad I did it and it's fine. Where I think they were talking about how like there's a reason that Square re-released Advent Children in theaters before Rebirth came out, because they want people to see that. Because I think they are going to do some weird shit coming, you know.
Because Advent Children gets pretty weird, because that's supposed to be the events that happen after Final Fantasy VII as a whole.
Right.
I'm excited all over again.
Did you like the DLC? I mean, like, did you finally get to experience Yuffie? And Yuffie's
OP. She's overpowered. Yuffie is not fair.
She's so OP in that little DLC. It's crazy. She's even OP in Rebirth. Like, she's nuts.
Really, she's what I thought Tifa was when I was playing as Tifa. When I made the joke of always pick Tifa. That's how you win.
Right?
No, pick Yuffie.
Nope.
Sorry,
pick
Tifa.
Yuffie.
We're talking about the love triangle
everything.
with Tifa and Aerith. No, pick Yuffie. She beats ass.
Pick Yuffie, man. Just her elemental abilities for everything, their range power. Like, she's so OP.
She can do everything. She makes Barret
and fun to play. She's quick. She's
yeah. She makes Barret completely useless. There's no reason to have Barret in your party.
I told you. I told you, man. I'm like, she's ranged and she can move like Tifa. Nah, Yuffie. Yeah, come on, Yuffie. You're the best.
So yeah, loved it. Really excited for Rebirth whenever it comes out on PC. I love this world so much.
It's honestly like one of the best like group of characters, I think, for video games. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a reason why this game was so beloved to the point where people have been clamoring for this remake for years, because they were like, I know a lot of people like argue back and forth between like this and 8 and 10 or whatever, about how like this is the best and most known Final Fantasy. I think it's like, without a doubt, this is the most known Final Fantasy.
Absolutely. There's a reason why we've seen Cloud in like 87 games. Like
right, exactly. You know, I mean, it's like a weird lightning in the bottle. Like, not only did you get one of the most iconic heroes, you got one of the most absolute iconic villains with Sephiroth. And so it's just like,
See,
everyone knows who
I'm
Sephiroth
sure you heard his theme
even
too.
Devin.
Yeah. Everyone knows
Devin knows who that is. Yeah, so I'm glad. I'm so happy that you finally finished it and enjoyed it, because it is, and it's a fun little short DLC, but it's really good, man. And like, we can't keep talking about it because we're running long, but like, it's a beautiful game. That game is just beautiful.
Absolutely, love it, man.
Hell yeah! All right, I already went. I'm losing my mind. It's time to end the show, listeners. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fourtress spelled F-O-U-R. Feel free to email us any feedback, questions, recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fourtress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 Bollywood R's. Rate, review, and recommend this to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're not here. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITZ_, by the way. Alex at Peterson Films. Devin, you can find him trolling people in a game with a gaming PC now. Next week, listeners, maybe some Fallout. Maybe we'll finally go around and get to that Fallout show. Maybe we'll talk about something else. I'm not sure. Maybe Tales of the Empire. Who knows? Either way, we will be here. And as usual, listeners, happy holidays and put a coat on. It's cold out there. It's raining. It rained a lot. Now the weather's dropped.
Don't get sick. That shit sucks.
Don't get sick. Yeah, please. Yeah. Take care of yourselves. If you feel sick, put a mask on.
Yes, absolutely.
That's that too. All right, listeners. We'll see you here next week on another episode in the Fourtress of...